Hello, everyone. Oh, this feels weird. How's it going? We're live on a Monday for the first time in 3 weeks? 2 weeks? We haven't done one of these for a couple of weeks. So we're back. We're back today. We will be back on Wednesday as well. Don't worry about that. We might even be on Thursday evening or Thursday morning for the Adepticon stream along. Because I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm over it now. But there we go. Lots of you have been members for a very, very long time. Mr. Mark Watson, thank you very much for being a member for 43 months, which is absolutely incredible. Good afternoon, Josh. Good to see you back, buddy. Thank you very much, Mark. Cameron has been a member for 22 months. Glad to see you back, man. Thank you very much, Cameron. Jason, a member for 10 months. Big man's back. Praise the Emperor. Or Sigmar. Mainly Sigmar. It's good to see you here again. I hope you're feeling better. Also, it's our 2-year anniversary, says Yamail Angmar. Thank you very much, Yamail Angmar. Thank you very much for our 2-year anniversary. What's that? What is a 2-year anniversary? I should really have a document open to understand what all the anniversary labels are. But thank you very much, Jamel Angmar. And Stoogie, thank you very much for being a member for 20 months. Our boy is back. Yeah, I'm here. How are we going? How are we doing? Are we all good? Are you guys good? I hope you're doing better than I was a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago, let me explain what happened. I received some news that I didn't like. And it's stupid because it happened at the same time of me being at the end of that crazy period of 60 days of content every single day, basically. And so my mental defenses were low. And at that point, I was just like, nah, I can't face doing painting, can't face doing YouTubing. Just couldn't face it, really. So I was just exhausted. And I needed some time. Just needed some time to build myself back, to rebuild some immunity, and to sort of inoculate myself against the wiles of the internet. And it was just a couple of things, right? It was just one of those days, you know, like when you're in one of those days when you're just not in the, mood, right? And then it's just like you don't realize how not in the mood you are. That was me. And there was just some buggers on the internet that upset me as well, and it was just one of those days. And I was like, I've had a terrible day, and I need to just not. So, and it threw me for a bit. It threw me for a couple of weeks, and here we are. So now we're back. Who do we need to have a car park talk with? Who hurt you? It's fine. Don't worry about it. You don't need to bodily threaten anyone. But yeah, so it's been a little while. It's just one of those days. Soz Limp Biscuit. That's exactly right, Tom. My brother is in chat, ladies and gentlemen. It was just one of those days when you don't want to wake up, everybody sucks, and everything is... and you don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. And my nephew. Hello, Harry. Take a good look, Harry. This is the job you'll be doing one day. So yeah, we are back. We are live. We are doing stuff. I mean, you will if you obviously you guys are my core friends here. Everybody in chat. Mr. Captain Manrings is here. Hello, Stoogie. James Norton, Grey Wolf, Jason, my brother Tom, Colonel, Pridders, Cameron, Yamel Angmar, No Skill Painter, Ricky Drinks Paints, Blethin, Maureen, Sly Guy, Mini Painting Dad, Aiden Hughes, Kataro. You guys are the core audience. You know, you will have seen that I have been releasing videos still, and I've still been doing the odd bit here and there, just not at the same not at the same pace. I just calmed down a little bit. And today we are going to be painting. We're going to be painting a Stenna of Brighthall, I think, is what we're going to be doing. That's what I've been working on today, which has been fun. Yeah. Good that you are better. I'm housebound for 3 weeks with infected ulcer on my amputated leg. Got plenty of painting and building to do, so all good. I'm sorry that's happened, Colin. I'm glad you've got something to occupy you. Oh my god, I feel exactly like that today. My wife's eating crisps perfectly normally right opposite me, and it's driving me nuts, keeping a lid on my own neurosis for the sake of my marriage. Oh. Do you know what? Like, every day, like, well, not every day, but for like the last couple of months, next door, they've been doing what can only be described as erratic DIY. Because you'll hear them hammering, and it's not consistent. It's like bang, 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 and you're like, what nail is it that requires that much of erraticism? And it's infuriating. Did you have a Kit Kat? I did have a Kit Kat. David Hill, thank you very much for being a member for 4 months. Glad you're feeling better. I am feeling better. Thank you very much, David. Millie, good evening all. Hey, Josh. Hello, Millie. How you doing? How's it going? The roles are reversed. Did the prospect of painting Bard's family have anything to do with the Pit of Despair? No, it did not. But if I were to try and do that now, it would indeed open up the Pit of Despair, and I would probably never stream ever again. Because they are the worst. Worst model Games Workshop has ever made. David Hill, thank you very much for the 5 gifted Warhipster memberships. That is very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Best sort of DIY. Oh, just like the drilling as well. Like, it's just like, you know, like, having done hammering and drilling before, stop it. You generally finish off the thing that you're doing, but next door it always sounds like they just go, well, we'll start drilling a hole here, and then we'll go over there somewhere and do another one, and then we'll go back to the first one, and then we'll just start another one somewhere else. And you're like, and you're sat in the living room, and you can just hear it like over there, and then down there, and then in the next room, and it's just, oh, so awful. Ah. Good lord. Worse than Clan Rats? Yeah, worse than Clan Rats. I am on the tiny box this time. Yes! It's where I belong. It's where I belong. Howdy, Josh. Delighted to see your amazing t-shirt is back and your lovely face. Really, I know that you guys are all here for the t-shirt. And it is a shame I don't own many of said t-shirt, otherwise I would just wear it all the time. It would be the uniform. Oh my god, hi, finally catching a live. I haven't been live for 2 weeks. So, maybe I'm catching all of you live. Anyway, today we are going to do a little bit of work on this lovely, lovely lady, which the lovely lady Millie Paints in chat picked up from Warhammer World Anniversary for me. It's this one right here, Estenna of Brighthall. I've been working on this today. So we did a little bit more work on that. And, you know, you guys sometimes will drop in and you'll say, how do you get over burnout? Well, that's what I've been doing. I've been getting over burnout, and that's what we're doing. We're working on one of my favourite miniatures from my favourite range of miniatures, being the Stormcast Eternals. Here he is, Estenna at Brighthall. It is at Warhipster Battle Ready almost. Well, no, it is at Warhipster Battle Ready. It's beyond that. It needs another layer. That layer is obviously going to be Retributor armour. Love the way you did the hair. Oh, thank you. It's Griffhound Orange shaded with Reichland Flesh Shade. So, you know, nice and simple. There will be some highlights and stuff. But the other thing that I did was I worked on this for you guys. Don't know if anybody's been on Instagram today, you might see. I've done a Imperial Fist Gravis Captain, and I've even weathered it. And I did it without putting orange on, putting pink underneath it. Can you believe it? Because the internet can't. So yeah, I did this. Look, got a lovely kind of gashing and what's it called? Chipping effects and stuff like that. That's what's we've got all of that on there. So there is a video coming for this soon. I would very much like to get my hands on a lot more Imperial Fists, but naturally when you take 2 weeks off from making content, you have even less money than you did before, so that's going to be a little while off doing that. But yeah, I've got this really cool idea for a Gravis Captain, an Apothecary Biologus, well, 2 Apothecary Biologi, what's it called? Torgaradon, 20 Heavy Intercessors, 12 Aggressors, 12 Eradicators, and that's the core of the All Gravis All the Time Imperial Fist Super Fun Times. Love the yellow so much. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, that video will come out very, very soon. There's a couple of other videos that are on the way as well. We have the Assassin. We have the Goremongers. I will start on the Sanctifiers, are they called? Yeah. Gashing and drilling and pounding. Cripes, you have been busy. You know? Just because I'm having time off doesn't mean I'm sitting idle. Edward705, thank you very much for the 1 gifted Warhipster membership. I very much appreciate that. Thank you. This is top up 316. We're on our way to 400. So if you guys want to help, you can by all means. Either consider becoming a member or gifting some memberships. That's very, very, very kind and generous of you. I'm looking forward to the Soulblight release. So am I, the Grey-Tide. I'm fully primed and ready with my wallet to purchase said Soulblight release. Because I don't know when it's coming out. And I haven't got it, so who knows where it is. But yeah, so should we get on with things? Should we do some painting? Let's do a little bit of painting, shall we? Yeah. But what's new with all of you guys? You know? Catch me up. I'm beginning to think no one knows where Soulblight went. Perhaps we all made it up. It was a collective fugue state where we all saw it and predicted it. And just imagined it, but it wasn't actually real. Anytime Soulblight got mentioned on the Warhammer community. It's entirely possible, you know. Okay. Oh my goodness, William Dotson with the 50 bomb. Happy to see you back. Finishing up my Saurus Warriors Try that again. Saurus Warriors, following your video. Very happy with the result. William, that's very kind of you, and thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad the video could help. But thank you very much. That's incredibly generous of you. I appreciate that a lot. Guys, don't get too generous. You know what happens. I fall apart into an emotional wreck on the internet. Maybe they're pulling a Cursed City version 2 with Soulblight Gravelords. Maybe. Thank you very much for being a member for 23 months, Captain Mannerings. Born on the 14th and 14 months. Woo! Says Dan. Wait, was it your birthday 10 days ago? But thank you very much for being a member for 14 months. Lots of legendary support today. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much. Now, as is always the case in these streams, I am in fact filming these for videos because that's what we do. No, 14th of September. I see. September, the legendary month where legends are born, such as Dan and myself and anybody else who was born in September. I'm a 26th. 26th, baby. So, yeah, no. 72 online and only 26 likes. I'm shocked and appalled by this blatant act of heresy. That is very, very, very true. Guys, if you could please leave a like on the stream. That is a free way to support the channel. And that's very, very... That's awesome. That's an awesome thing that you can do. Because if you haven't done so already, please do leave a like. Our goal, as always, is to get to 50 likes. 50. And then the legendary number, the fun number of 69. Nice. But yeah, so yeah, we're filming at the moment. So here we go. So Warhipster voice inbound. I know you guys enjoy this. So with that Cantor blue glaze applied to the cloak, what we're now going to do is move on to our next relayer, which is going to be some thinned down Retributor armor. I'm going to be applying this over the top of all of the flat areas of the gold armor. So for example, here across the breastplate, the gauntlets, the legs, all that good stuff. And what we're going to do is we're just going to avoid any of the deepest recesses. But for example, there on that chest, we can just avoid the underside to give it a really lovely kind of natural shadow without doing too much work to it. Then we, for example, here on the hip, we can apply this. We don't have to worry about any of the trim or anything like that, because that will all be picked up when we do the highlight in just a bit. That'll do, won't it? I just saw that we missed some epic support. 13 months of membership from Fake Street Spirit. Unlucky for some, not for me. Welcome back, Josh. Thank you very much, Fake Street Spirit. And Colonel has been a member for 21 months. Oh, I had one of these too. Love you, Josh, and I'm glad to have you back. Always remember that you have a community that loves you, supports you, and are willing to knock someone out at the GW parking lot. I have heard this. Camera was unfocused. For how much of that? Was it unfocused throughout the whole thing? Because I'll redo it if I have to. Let me re-watch it. Ah, we're alright. We've got about a minute's worth of footage there. That'll be fine. It's all good. We'll be fine. Don't worry, I can work with that. It happens. I think I just need to. I think I need to play with the focus settings on the camera, because at times it's like. At times it's fine. Like I'll go through an entire video and I won't have a single issue, and then other ones it'll be just like all over the place, and then it's like editing it becomes an absolute pain. Which sucks. Yeah, no. Evening, Josh. How are you? Alpharis is back in stock again, by the way, just in case you hadn't seen. Doesn't matter. Alpharis is in my house. I got him in the last restock. And I need to wash. I need to wash 2 models. One being Alfarius and the other being a... I'm not sure if I can talk about that one. Maybe I can. I'm sure he won't mind. I have a very, very cool resin model. 3D printed model by another YouTuber. For a cool project that's going on later in the year, which I think, Millie, if you're still here, you're also taking part in. You are here. I think you're taking part in the same project, aren't you? Something about, you know, foul tarnished. Why covet destined death? Oh no, it's not that, Black Hole Eyes. But it's adjacent, I guess. I don't know. But it's a cool project, and he asked me if I wanted to be a part of it, and I was like... I'm just as maidenless as everybody else. You know? I do like, I mean, you guys know I love the game. And I've always wanted to do a full... I've always wanted to do a full playthrough on the channel. But I am aware that that will not... that wouldn't be good for my algorithm. I mean, taking 2 weeks off isn't good for the algorithm either, but that had to happen for my brain. So what I might do is I might do a full playthrough of it just for the video. Well, at least that's what I told him. Yeah, see, I thought you were involved in it, Millie. Good to see you back, Warhipster. Thank you, Sir Strumming Fish. Elden Ring stuff. I need more demigods to paint. Well, see, this is the thing: is I'd love to paint the entirety of the lands between, but I have a feeling that that would take a while, and everything eventually would just sort of mold into the same sort of grey, as it tends to do in the From Software games. Good to hear your brain took a rest, Josh. It needs it sometimes. Yeah. My brain needed the time away. It needed to sit and recover. And I could have kept going, but I had just like a it was a series of unfortunate events. You could say I had a Lemony Snicket kind of day. And I was like, yeah, no, this is over. The wild ride is done. 60 days on the bounce? Nah. And who knows? Maybe we'll end up doing that again. But I'll know what to look for next time. But maybe we won't. Maybe things will never be as busy as they were at the beginning of this year ever again. Who can say? We just don't know. But that's the thing. It's difficult to know that you're struggling when you're enjoying what you're doing, if you see what I mean. Because, like, I love my job. I love painting Warhammer. I love making videos. I love talking to all of you. I love streaming. I love all of it. It's my favourite thing to do in the world. But it is a lot of hard work. And you just don't realise sometimes. You're just thinking, like, oh, no, I'm just tired. But actually, I was just low as well. From just lack of healthy sleep, constantly worrying, the anxiety of not getting things done in time, or, you know, all that stuff. So I just, yeah, it was just like a case of, I think my brain batteries were taking a pummeling, and I wasn't aware that that was what was happening because I was having a good time. And then when even the most mildest of things happened, it unveiled that I wasn't actually having a particularly good time. If you see what I mean. So it's just kind of like a, yeah, enforced time off, as it were. By myself. I have resolved, though, that as soon as we move, I'm going to make some doctor's appointments to kind of try and get to the bottom of all of it. Because I think part of it for me is, like, I just want to know, you know? Just want to know what's going on in the brain box. And, like, just, you know, self-diagnosing all the time, it's just not a great idea. I just played Thank Goodness You're Here while sick, and it is fantastic. Thank goodness you're here, Travis. I didn't see you sneak in, but hello. How you doing? Well, you came back right before the next reveal. Goody. So how's that Warlord Titan? The Warlord Titan is currently being assembled by a team of expert tech priests. So it's on the way. Daddy Cthulhu asks, hey, big fan of the channel. Was wondering if pink gold for ammo would work for trim with the Berserker wash. I don't know what you mean, Daddy. Is pink gold from Ammo MIG? Is that the paint? Because I don't know. I've never used it. You would know better than I, if that's the case. If you could design your own model, what would it be? Some eldritch horror from beyond my nightmares that exists within the shadows and in the corner of your eye. That manifests as your nightmares come to life. And has a 5+ save and 6 wounds. I don't know. I'd love to sit and just kind of work with a bunch of, you know, Lovecraftian designers to come up with a race of aliens that you just can't comprehend at all for 40k. That would be amazing. It's what 40k needs. Everything's on 2 legs and boring. You know, it's supposed to be the horrors of the 41st century, where everything looks pretty familiar, actually. Did you give your thoughts on the catapult troll? No, I didn't. I really like it. I don't know if it's resin or plastic. I can't tell. I'm interested to see what you guys think. The MESBG catapult troll from The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies. What about Josh the White Helm's Deep diorama piece? That would be a cool model. Josh the White? Just describing my existence. Josh the White Privileged. I'm very jealous of Zorp. If you don't know Zorp on YouTube, you should go and check him out if you're a fan of all things Lord of the Rings, because he's just finished building Helm's Deep, and it looks amazing, and I want it. I would have nowhere to put it. We'd have to probably chuck the bed out and put it in the bedroom, and then we'd have nowhere to sleep. I didn't mean that. I know. I know what you meant. Fixed true spirit. I'm just playing with you. The thing about terrain building is I don't know how to do it. And I want to learn how to do it. But as with all things when it comes to making videos on the internet, I'm at a certain position now where if I don't at least have someone helping me, showing me, or teaching me, and that would be the excuse as to why it looks like crap on the video, guess what will happen to that video? So yeah, I'd love to do it. I need help. I need somebody who's an expert to come and sit and do it with me, you know? Like I can paint terrain, that's not hard. I know how to do that. I can paint it very well, or I can paint it really quickly. I can do that very easily, but building the stuff from scratch, it kind of takes it's an element of common sense that I don't have, a bunch of room that I don't have, and a bunch of tools I don't have. And I don't want to get that. I don't want to get any of that wrong. So if I was to start building boards and stuff, I need to have the space to do it. I need to have all of the tools to do it, and I need to spend good money on those tools rather than just looking up what do you do? Buy a wire cutter, buy the cheapest one, it breaks, and so on and so forth. Ask the builders when they finish their indiscriminate drilling. Can you help me? They'll be like, yep, we can knock up a shelf for you. What do you mean you want to build Helm's Deep? 1-to-1? 2-to-1? 4-to-1? 60-to-1? 25mm scale? It's multitasking. It's like a gold with a bright pink hue. My local hobby store suggested it since they were out of Retributor Gold. I haven't tried it out yet, but it's as good as bright gold. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I don't know. I've never seen the paint. I don't know what colour it is. So I can't make a recommendation to you. But try it. It'll probably work. Probably. Get skip diving, Mr. Josh. We don't have a skip. That's the thing. I don't think there are builders next door. I think it's the neighbour doing it. That's the problem. You know? Let's see. Do we have... Yes, we do. As an apology, let's gift 5 members out to the community. There you go. Congratulations to you 5. That's the absence tax. Hello, Mr. Gwotkin. Thank you very much. Does a model submitted for March Madness count if assembling it drove me mad? Yes. I build Lord of the Rings Legos. Does that count as terrain? Yes. I'm sure it can. I should say as well, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we went live a little bit earlier today than we would normally on a Monday. The reason being is that I have to leave a little bit earlier because I'm going out for dinner with my mother. Just as an FYI. Cetra the Cetra the unassemblable. Lego equals destructible terrain too. It does. You too can have battlefield style destructible terrain. What do they call it? Levolution. That was it. Levolution. If only there was Levolution in the game. That would be fun. I mean, there technically is. You can destroy buildings, but only if somebody paid points to bring said buildings. You can't destroy terrain, which is bizarre to me. Oh look, an entrenched position where my entire opponent's army is hiding behind a small ruined building. You can't shoot the ruined building, sir. That would be a waste of our resources. Maybe we should shoot the ruined building. Anyway. Ooh, have a wonderful dinner. Oh, I hope so. Thank you. We'll have to see. Last time we go to a place in Cheltenham every time, and it's most of the time it's really good, but last time we went, my mother did something she's never done in front of me before. She sent her dinner back. I was like, oh wow. Okay, we're all working on ourselves right now. So it'll be interesting to see. We're going to the same place again. Like and subscribe. I can't read the second part out, Black Hole Eyes, but he has a point. Got my Mother's Day prezi early, so happy painting Usheran and following your video. Oh, that's awesome, Maureen. Welcome back, Josh. I hope you're well. I am well. Thank you very much, James. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see all of you. Have you seen the preview for Battletech Gothic, which may or may not be a real thing but looks awesome all the same? I have not. Is the dinner a special occasion? It's a special occasion in the sense that my mum and dad used to live in Gloucestershire, and they were about. Well, so I grew up in Gloucestershire. I've lived here most of my life, and then moved back, live here with Alice now. And my mum and dad lived in a place called Tetbury, not far away from here. Last year, I think it was last year. Time is a construct. It all molds together eventually. Anyway, they've moved. They've moved to south. They've moved to Southsea, and now my mum's up doing some work here, and she's like, "Oh, I'm actually in Cheltenham tomorrow. Do you want to hang out?" And I was like, "Yeah." This is unheard of, everybody, because my mum used to work in Cheltenham quite a lot when she lived here, and she wouldn't let us know, so we would never see her. What did they do wrong? Oh, it was too much salt. It was really salty. They'd oversalted my mother's food, and she was very brave and sent it back. Is she going to ask you to cat sit again? No, hopefully not. Because that would involve them driving the cats up here, which wouldn't be fair on them, because we drove them down there, and they did not like that. Those poor little kiddies. And I love those cats dearly. I picked those cats for my mum. She was desperate. We had a cat when I was growing up. Her name was Jess. Because we're real original Postman Pat fans for life. We had a cat called Jess. And before that, my mum and dad had a cat called Grapefruit. Which is a great name for a cat, by the way. Which I vaguely remember, but I was 3 or 4 when Grapefruit died. And then we got Jess when I was 6, and she lasted 16 years. Long time. And then my mum and dad didn't have any cats for a while. And then my mum was just desperate to get some cats, and I found the 2 that mum and dad now have ready for adoption. And I was like, "Hey mum, how about these 2 little cutie pies?" And she was like, "I'm there." Grapefruit, solid cat name. Grapefruit was a great cat. I'm told Grapefruit was very, very tolerant of 3 small boys. So Grapefruit was not only a great name for a cat, it was also a legendary cat. Very patient cat. Cats are awesome. We love cats, as you all know. Once we move, Alice and I will be adopting our own cats. Perhaps 16 or 17 of them. If I had my way, we'd have at least 2 cats per room in the new house. Whenever we... Has to be at least 25 cats. Yeah, I agree. Alice doesn't agree because she knows that when I say I want 25 cats, what I want is 25 cats and to do all of the playing, the cuddling, and the funny, cute stuff while she deals with all the litter trays and the feeding. I had a cat for 17 years. She slept on my chest every night. She passed a year ago and I have trouble sleeping ever since. I love cats. Oh, I'm sorry, James. It's hard. It is hard. I mean, they're your best friends, aren't they, at the end of the day? That's the thing. We were actually, we were talking... we were talking about maybe we should get... We were talking about we should get 2 cats, and I also want a retriever puppy as well, which I just think is a lot for us to deal with at once, but there we go. My sister has a cat called Nutmeg. She was a stray, but she adopted our family. Oh, that's awesome. More Irby is more better. I don't make the rules. I feel like that's in reference to something I don't understand. On topic, paint Battletech mechs, man. You'd have a huge amount of unit schemes to use for vids. Yeah, but not a lot of people to watch them. That's the problem, Needful Things. I also don't know anything about it. That's the problem. As the primary caregiver to the dogs, I am with Alice. Exactly. 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 And all I want to do is the fun stuff. Right, we're going to quickly do our next take here. Camera's gone for a little bit of a... We'll just adjust that slightly. There we go. So with that all done, we've finished with our relayering. So what we're going to do now is move on to the highlights. And the colour we're going to be using is a roughly 2 parts Stormhost Silver to 1 part Retributor Armour mix. And we're going to use this to highlight all of the gold. And this is going to give us that really lovely, bright, shiny gold that we're after. Which is why we didn't do the highlights on the trim. Not highlights on the trim, the layering on the trim, because this is more than sufficient to brighten up those areas. There we go. Easy. But this is the part that takes forever. So we sit comfortably whilst we do it. My cat's 14 now, so she's getting on a bit. I hopefully got some years left, though. I hope so, too. Dominic Benson, thank you very much for being a member for 20 months. Glad to see you are back. Love that gold. I love this gold, too. It took me a little while to come up with the best possible recipe for gold. For me, that's quick and efficient and looks awesome. But once I got it, I'm just like, yeah, that's the one now. What's difficult for me is when I see a model that's got gold details on it, but they're not the same, and I'm like, I just want to do this recipe. But you know it's not appropriate. Boom, 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 boom. I've been painting rusty metal all month. Is that a euphemism? I've been following your progress, James, on Instagram. It all looks incredible. Shiny. I always trouble highlighting metallics. Takes ages, and then afterwards I feel like there's not a hugely noticeable difference. Yeah, that can happen. I think one thing that helped me when it came to highlighting metallics was whilst Lead Belcher is a very nice paint, and Iron Hand Steel are also very nice paints, they're quite bright. So I actually don't really use anything other than Iron Warriors most of the time because it's really dark, and then when you shade it, you get the really dark shading that you're after when it comes to painting like a heavier metal, which most of these things are. And that means then you can go for a really bright highlight on it to make it just to complete the look. Whereas I find like if you try and highlight, say, Lead Belcher with, let's just say, Ironbreaker, yeah, there's a little bit of an extra shine to it, but it doesn't feel noticeable at all. And even when you shade the brighter metallics, it doesn't really feel like it's doing very much to them. Which is why I've used Iron Warriors so much, because it's a really nice dark silver. So I would recommend maybe try using darker bases. And actually using contrast paints to do your shading as well can help a lot, because when you use contrast paints it's a much stronger colour than the shade paints. Which is why when I paint something like a Stormcast Eternal, where gold is the primary colour, using Reichland Flesh Shade to do it is just not quite strong enough, which then means that it affects your highlighting power as well, because there's not enough of a juxtaposition between the bright colour and the darker colour. So using a contrast paint to shade, because it's inherently a lot stronger than a shade paint, can go some way towards helping make those highlights pop as and when you come to do them. What's your go-to recipe for white robes? Going to be painting Ebon Chalice, Sisters of Battle. My go-to is to use, depends on how bright you want it really. My go-to is generally to use something like Nuln Oil over the top of the bare primer. So if I've primed it in Greyseer, use Nuln Oil and then relayer it with Corax White, or just highlight it with Corax White depending on how dark you want that white robe to be. In the instance of this individual, because it was primed in Wraithbone, I actually shaded the inside of the cloak with Soulblight Grey, and then relayed it with Corax White just to give it a little bit more of a slightly subtler shading to those deeper recesses. Not that there are that many. But yeah. You actually don't need... Oh, excuse me. Very itchy nose. You actually don't need too strong a shading for it to read as white over Greyseer. That's why I kind of like... Apothecary White's fine. But it's very grey, and it can be a little bit too strong in some cases. Whereas Nuln Oil is basically very thinned down black. Which acts as a really nice contrast to what is going to eventually be a white robe, as it were. So that can provide a really nice basis for a white robe. And then, of course, you have different things like a cold white versus a cool white, or a warm white, which is, you know, harder to do, a warm white, but it is there, it is possible. But so like a lot of the the Threnodic Choir, no, Glittering Myriad video I did recently, that was Tyrann Blue over Greyseer and then relayered with Corax White. So that's a very cold white by doing it that way. A warm white would be to maybe use something like a brown, like a Seraphim Sepia or something. That would work. And then again, relayer it with Corax White. Highlight it with White Scar. So on and so forth. All that usual stuff. I have a lot of videos. Mini Painting Dad has been a member for 19 months. I always found that painting normal colours and then highlighting with the metallics or dry brushing over them gives interesting results. It certainly does. Thank you for noticing. I'm having such a hard time growing my Instagram though. I don't put a lot of effort into it, I guess. I'm just sharing what I'm working on. Probably need to do more. I see. Well, we can try and help you there. One moment. Guys, if you haven't already, go and check out James Matthias there on Instagram. We'll bang it 2 more times. Waha! What would you say is the hardest mini you have ever painted, Josh? That's a really difficult question. I can tell you one, like some of the ones that took really long time. So like, I would often point to something like King Brod. King Brod was a tough one to paint because it took so long to do. The Archaon was pretty tricky. Archaon was pretty difficult. Hardest mini to get motivated to paint. The Doom Diver Catapult was pretty hard because I did that whilst I was really sad. And I still haven't done the Frazzlegit Shaman on Warwheeler. My brother got Archaon as a first model and immediately gave up. As a first model, I'm not surprised. Another pretty tricky one to get motivated to paint was... well, any Titan lovers? There he is. In the background. Warhound Titan was pretty hard. Warlord Titan will be even more difficult. I think the Warlord will be difficult, mostly just because I'm a weak little baby man with weak little baby arms. So actually, you know, lifting it and moving it and doing all that with that model is going to be very, very tricky. Let alone filming it, you know. What I liked was there was a number of... a little while ago there was a weird trend of people showing off their first ever models, and they clearly weren't their first ever models. And I don't think it went very far, but like I was like, hold on now, come on. My first ever models are terrible. I can't believe for 1 minute that this many people are like, yeah, so for my first ever model, I tried object source lighting and non-metallic metal, and I did this, and I bought all of it. And said, no, you didn't. Millie, thank you so much for becoming a member. Legendary. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. That means now you can join my Discord. It's full of lovely people. I don't think I actually own my first painted miniatures anymore, but what I have are miniatures from when I was a kid. I have some on my desk, actually. I've shown them to you before. I'll pull one out in just a second. You can see. Once I've done mucking about with gold highlights. Of which there are just a few left to go. Ooh, Be-do-do-do-do. And then it'll be time for the big reveal of the non-finished miniature, but kind of just looking cool. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Oh, that was a little heavy. There we go. Boom. Millie, thank you very much for 5 of the finest Warhipster memberships. Gifted, no less. Thank you so much. It's very, very generous of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It puts us on 327. An auspicious number, maybe. Got to shoot, I'm afraid, Josh, but I will leave you with a lurk. Oh, awesome. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy where you're going. Walking the dogs? Enjoy it. Hope it's a good walk. And the weather holds out. Currently painting a Plague Marine kill team using your Pallid Hand Mortarian recipe. Awesome, James. Yeah, some of my first ever miniatures live here on the desk because I'm going to strip them eventually, but this is what I came up with. Why do I live? Like, the nicest thing you can say about it is that the colours were in roughly the right place. And then I got mildly better with this broken coat he has. This was me. You can see it's all chipped and frayed and rubbish. So they need to be stripped. But I can't strip all of them, you know. You have to keep some as a reminder of the sins of the past. What are you painting right now? I am painting Estella of Brighthall, which is this model right here. That's with all the gold highlights done now. Look how bright and shiny. I love it. Ooh, sparkly. Thank you, Laura. These are my 2 brain repair miniatures. Is she a Stormcast Eternal? She is indeed. She is a Knight Zephyros. She's from the Warhammer World Store Anniversary. I need 2 boxes of heavy intercessors to go with that Imperial Fist captain. Will it be a video for her? Will indeed. Somebody asked earlier if we could have a little preview of the secret model. I think you can. I'm not. I don't know. So we have a little bit of Malekith, the Black Blade. I need to give it a bit of a wash and build it, but why covet destined death? But we're gonna do a whole video on it. On my love of Elden Ring. Oh. Hello, the Batman. Alfarius is going into the drink very shortly to get washed. I've got Does the model also include his sick as hell sword? Yes. So I need to give it a wash. That and Alfarius. Any future Wednesday educational streams planned? We could do an educational stream on Wednesday. I'm not sure what about. What would we do it on? Is he resin? Yeah, he's resin. Just wash it in water. I just need to give it a little bit of scrub. I didn't print it. He did. And I just need to give it a little scrub. Any suggestions where one might be able to get that Malakath model? I can ask. I can ask the question where the STL came from. Education on everything Magnus did wrong. Well. Magnus dabbled with forces he didn't fully understand. And when told to stop, did not. Despite that being a very unfair ruling. I saw a question about Iron Souls Condemners. About to paint Iron Souls Condemners using your Emberwatch guide. Bit worried about painting white cloth though. You'll be fine. Honestly, you can just be like... I think like you can just paint the whole thing Corax white and then just do a little bit of highlighting to the sharpest parts with white scar, and generally that will be fine. That will be enough. You don't have to be really deep and shaded and all that kind of thing. Because white inherent is a very bright colour, as it were. The list of things Magnus did wrong is way shorter than the things the Emperor did wrong. Okay. Let's not get into a debate about the Horus Heresy. There are some people who did some very, very bad, naughty things. And as a consequence of those bad, naughty things, many, many, many people died. Nobody is blameless in the Horus Heresy. Is an education stream like a lore video day or a paint teaching day? It's generally a paint teaching day. It'll be... So we've done... What have we done? We've done Lahmian medium versus contrast medium, and I need to edit these videos because I have filmed them as well, so I need to edit them down. We've done contrast medium versus Lahmian medium and when and why you would use which one. We've done how to avoid splotches, blotches and scratches with contrast paint. We've done that. We did... what was the other one? That one has come out. How to figure out colour schemes. That was the other one. So, if there is a particular subject on painting that you would like to see, drop them now in the chat, as long as it's not how to paint model X, because those are how to paint videos and we can't film them live because we'll end up doing it for hours and hours and hours. Metallics and or mixing them, since several tutorials include that. A lot of neat tricks / tips, but often only seen if watching Custodes or similar videos. Yeah. Could do that. How to clean up mistakes done on parts you finished using contrast. I think I think there's a lot of... I think we did cover that. We covered that in Splotches and Blotches. I think. I can't remember. What's inspired you to want to paint Malekith, Josh? Well, one, it's sick. And two, I was asked to. And I really want to be a part of that project because it sounds really fun. That's why. OSL. I mean, see, I don't really do OSL, Stoogie. How to slap chop. What, don't? That's what that video would look like. Short video, yeah. Hello everybody, I'm live. So today we're going to be covering how to slap chop. Don't. End of video. If you could be good at a technique that you think you are not, what would that / those be? I don't know. So this is the thing, is like, I've developed a style that I really love. And I know that I'm capable of some things. I just, at a certain point, there is a degree of how much is important for what it is that you're actually doing. And I think generally the niche that I sit in when it comes to painting miniatures is painting above tabletop standard for tabletop. Because painting stuff for display is really impressive and very cool, and I think it's a very different style of painting. And so I think as a consequence of that, when you apply display painting level to models you're going to play with on the tabletop, they then actually don't look as great on the tabletop, if you see what I mean. So like doing things like volumetric highlighting and non-metallic metal and object source lighting and all this kind of thing, those all have their place within your tabletop miniatures. But I think when it comes to playing with the miniatures, those have a place on your miniatures if you use them sparingly. In the same way that like loads of battle damage and loads of weathering and all this kind of thing, it's very similar in that regard, I think. So I think like when it comes to if there's a technique I wish I could do, I don't know if there is one. Because I know that I would be capable of learning it, but I have chosen not to at this point because I don't really want to. If you see what I mean. Like, if it looks great from 3 feet away, then, you know, fantastic. And I think there's a very different level of... It's very different art when you paint, for example. When you're painting like a bust, for example, that's more like, I would guess that's more like traditional 3D painting in many ways, and that's not what I do. I do paint by numbers. But you did slap chop on one of the EC variant schemes, not black plus off-white, but same principle. Yeah, no, so the reason I did that was because in that instance what I was doing with that model was how to paint it quickly. But my general videos aren't how to do something quickly, as it were. It's like I want to paint, right, so okay, so in the instance of painting this guy, okay, so I wanted to paint an Imperial Fist, and I wanted to paint an Imperial Fist that looked really, really good. So I wanted to spend some time on it. So I wouldn't slap chop it because that would be a waste of time. And generally, I would say, here's the thing: we always get into this argument, and everyone always gets really angry at me because I don't do all 50,000 techniques that everybody has seen on the internet on one model. I don't slap chop my miniatures. I don't. The reason I don't slap chop my miniatures is because I don't want to slap chop my miniatures. And the reason I don't want to slap chop my miniatures is because I don't want to have grainy finishes on bright colours. I'm also not looking for a slightly darker shadow in places I don't need a slightly darker shadow. And also, I'm not trying to paint them in 15 minutes. I'm trying to do contrast plus, which is the thing I've come up with, which is, it's the idea of using contrast paints to get you started, to get to battle ready, to then do the highlights as the plus, to take it to parade ready / looking like the box art. So when the project calls for it, slap chopping absolutely has its place, as does zenithal priming, as does object source lighting, as does reflections and non-metallic metal and volumetric shading and highlighting and all this. They all have their place when the project calls for it. But I don't do all of it all of the time on every miniature because that would be silly. You see what I mean? Either the beard got shorter or you aged backwards, Warhipster. I am constantly getting younger. Yeah. So in the instance of that Emperor's Children thing, what I did was I've got a fifth one left over. I need an idea. I wanted to do a really fast metallic thing that you could do in 45 minutes to an hour. Do one if you do a lot quicker. But I think like, you have when it comes to painting miniatures, when it comes to anything really, but when it comes to painting miniatures, you have access to a huge amount of different ways of doing things on YouTube and beyond, Instagram, Twitch. There's a lot of people doing a lot of different things and painting in very different ways. And I think what generally tends to happen is somebody will come up with a technique that's really cool. So in the instance of like the Imperial Fist, yeah, I know that when I put that video out, there'll be a bunch of people saying, why didn't you paint it pink first and then put the yellow over? Well, the reason I didn't do that was because, one, I didn't have a way to blend in pink in the shadows. 2, it's a very small miniature. 3, it takes a lot of extra time. And 4, I didn't want to. What I wanted to do is paint the way I paint, which is using Contrast Plus. So I put Imperial Fist over all of the armor, and then I shaded it with the Iyanden yellow. And it got that result. But I think what happens is you collect a lot of techniques over time. And then if you use all of those techniques all of the time for every single thing, you will get to the point where you get bogged down in the details of painting your miniatures, to the point of where you probably won't enjoy it so much because you're taking so much time to do the things that aren't actually now necessary for that, right? So an example would be if you're painting like grimdark blood angels, where you want lots of sort of dark brown kind of shading and really deep sections of shadow within the recesses and stuff, then yeah, actually you could do quite a high quality slap chop job on that. Like, that would really make sense, because the way I do things, you get a kind of, factory fresh, clean off the factory floor Blood Angel Space Marine at the end of things, right? But if you were to then want to do factory fresh white scars, but you slap chopped it, you're not going to get factory fresh white scars. So you then end up doing a lot of work to compensate for the initial slap chopping. At which point you've become addicted to a particular technique. And look, I'm the same thing. I can get stuck in certain ways of doing things, right? I can. And I used to really get stuck into things like overcomplicating stuff all the time, right? So how complicated do you want your painting experience to be? That is the choice that you have to make for you. If you want a zenithal prime and you want to slap chop and you want to pre-paint and underpaint and all those things, and you want to get dry brushes going and do this and do that and do this and do that, then by all means go ahead and do that. But that's not how I do things. Nice to see you back from your well-deserved break, and please, no more 60-plus day streaks. Well. Slap chop the OSL on a volumetric highlighted arm with infinitely glazed edge highlighting. And for those that didn't know, I'm just messing. Yeah, I mean, look, that's the thing, right? You can get bogged down doing things the way you've always done them, because that's the way that you always do them, or it's how you learned to do something in the first place when you could have made things a lot quicker. And I'll give you an example of this. When I was a younger warthog, before contrast paint even existed, I used to prime everything Chaos Black. Everything Chaos Black. And that meant painting white details, painting yellow details was a nightmare. Painting bone details was a nightmare, because you end up spending so long getting those layered on, right? When actually, if I was to do it again, you would if you wanted to paint like Deathwing, it would make sense to prime it with Xandri Dust or white, because Deathwing have got bright bone coloured armour. But spraying it Chaos Black means that I'm going to spend ages layering up with several different paints to get there, to get to the point of where it's at the colour where I want it to be. But I used to do everything with Chaos Black, and it wasn't correct. It wasn't correct for what I was doing when I was doing things. Chaos Black was the perfect spray for Ravenwing, because they're majority black with some white detailing. That's okay. Just, painting the white detailing. Okay, job's a good one. But it wasn't appropriate for painting the Deathwing element. But I still did it anyway. And that's because that's what I knew. That's what I learned. And if you extrapolate that out to all the painting techniques in the world, pre-shading, pre-painting, underpainting, slap chopping, zenithal priming, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. You can be creating more work for yourself when you're not. Predictions for Adepticon preview new goodies. I suspect what we will do is we will see what the next codex and what the next battle tome will be. Kill Team, I'm hoping they're going to announce a new season with another big box that has a bunch of Tyranids terrain in it, because they previewed a bit of Tyranids team. And Old World, I think we'll see the Wood Elves. So yeah, there's a. Do you think Warcry is gone now? I don't think it's gone. I just think they don't know what they want to do with it or how they want to move forward. Or maybe they do know how they want to move forward. They just don't know when it's going to come out. I don't think it's gone for good though. We could see a new edition of it released later this year. We also equally might not. I don't know. It kind of feels like they've said Underworlds is a little bit easier for us at the moment, so we just won't kind of do it. We won't move on Warcry yet. Maybe new Warcry this summer. Maybe. bearing in mind that the summer is the thing where they sell something that they hope everyone's going to buy, because it's their, you know, it's when they do their flagship launches, like an edition of 40k or an edition of Age of Sigmar. It goes 40k, Age of Sigmar, insert thing. We're getting Horus Heresy this summer. People keep saying this, but I don't think we are. I will be surprised if Horus Heresy is the third mainline game for Games Workshop. But I could be wrong. Horus Heresy has typically been on a 6-year cycle. But I could be wrong. Who knows? So yeah. Is there a more detailed explanation in a video of how you blend? I get most of the water off my brush and try my best, but it ends up looking patchy instead of smooth. And a detailed explanation of how it works. I don't know if there's one that's a detailed explanation of how it works. Maybe that's something we could talk about, look at doing at some point. I am at a point now where I am thankful when Sunday Preview has nothing I want / need on. Oh, I know that feeling very well, Artistic Outlaw. James. Should say your name. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer me first naming you or YouTube naming you? That's your choice. Can't wait for the normal releases and not new army box releases. Kind of tiring. It felt like such a slow first quarter after the Eldar dropped. Oh, I kind of see that. I like an army set because I think the thing with the army sets is the army sets are a great way to just start. Sometimes they're not ideal for if you already have said army, in which case it might be that you're like in the instance of Gloomspite Gits. I think the Git Mob army set was really cool, and it's great for people who want to get into Gloomspite Gits. I don't know how great it is for people who already had Gloomspite Gits, given as it's a completely brand new way to play the army. The only thing they might have really been after was Drogs to Sunjumper and the book. Emperor's Children, great way to launch the army. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's a really good core to the army as well. Death Corps of Krieg, again, it's kind of an army launch, but also not really. The Soulblight Gravelords one looks interesting. You'll never see like a Stormcast army set because Stormcast are always in the main edition. Same for Space Marines, really. I mean, you did get the Strike Force Augustus box, I suppose, last year, but every Sunday I check the previews and I'm always disappointed that there's no Fulgrim. Oh, it won't be far away now. As soon as I know, you'll know too. It's generally how it goes. At this point, if Sunday Preview has no Middle Earth, not interested. Yeah, I've no idea. I've no idea. I am in the dark at the moment. The only thing I've got to work on is Blood and Zeal. So I do have the other half of that, and I have the statue as well. So if you guys want to see that, those videos, I can make those videos. Goremongers are done. The Khorne ones from that box for Kill Team. Likewise, if you don't want to see the Sanctifiers, tell me now, and it won't happen. I shall change my... I shall use my time to do other things. Like a Star Drake that I recently built. I built the Lord Celestant on Star Drake. And I primed it, and it's ready to go. Can't wait for Prince Imrahil. Yeah, me too. The old Prince Imrahil and the Knights of Dol Amroth were some of my favourite miniatures when they first came out. I loved them. Going to Warhammer World on April 29th for my birthday. Any pointers? Yeah, have a look in the spend time in the exhibition. The exhibition isn't very big, but spend time in it. Soak in it, bask in it, marinate in it. You'll have a great time. And just you know, don't rush to one area or whatever in the exhibition, but have a good look around. Yeah, just kind of enjoy yourself. The exhibition will inspire you. It will inspire you to do things that you might not necessarily realize you were inspired to do. It is what happens. It's very, very cool. Yeah, just spend some time. Just spend some time in there. The other thing is as well. I would recommend before you go, just have a look at stuff that is. Look on the Games Workshop website for things that are web store only. Don't buy something from there if you're going to buy something from there. Don't buy something from there that you can get on the web store. Is the book worth it? Which book? Upcoming releases suck for me because I'm waiting for both EC and S. Soulblight Gravelords? What's the second part of that, Cajun Wargamer? Are they a single box team or do you need 2 boxes for the full roster? That only just sunk in. I think you can build the whole roster. I don't know. There's nothing in there that is that's going to struggle, as it were. It's not like the Aquilons where the gunfighter was. You had to get the right guns. The big book you can only buy there. I think it's about dioramas or something. Oh, I see. I don't know because I don't have it. Some of the Warhammer World exclusive models though are really cool. Like the command tanks. I have those. I built the Land Raider ages ago. I never painted it. The dioramas book is fine. It's just highlights of the museum. Ah. I see. Yeah, no, I didn't know that existed. Is your Lord Celestant for this May venture you're going to? Oh, it could be, I suppose. I also just... I got it because... Well, Adam gave it to me as a present. Because he's a very, very, very generous man. I suppose I could use it in the 1,000 point army. Just take a Lord Celestant and Karazai the Scarred. That's it. 2 models. Done. I will not have fun. Objectives? What objectives? Who cares about them? Soul Black Gravelords. Sorry, sausage fingers. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm excited for Soul Black Gravelords as well. I've no idea where they are. I really want that box. So, you know, I'm right there with you. I'm excited. We shall see what happens with them. I'm constantly watching your painting work. With love from Russia. Thank you very much. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, so I won't try. Zhelezhiaka? Is that it? Oh, probably absolutely butchered that. It'll be your 50th birthday. Congratulations. Is your birthday on the 29th of April, Stoogie? This is where we got to. My camera's about to overheat for some reason. It is quite warm in here. So this is the Astena of Bright Hall miniature. So that's a video coming soon. This is also a video that's coming soon. The Imperial Fist Gravis Captain. Looking cool. We do have the statue, we have the Goremongers, and we have the... Are they called Sanctifiers? I now need to find out. Blood and Zeal. Sanctifiers, yes. So I'll try and get those done in the coming days. Where can you get that Stormcast? You can get it on store anniversaries. So it comes from the Warhammer World anniversary. And Millie, who was here earlier, she went to the Warhammer World store anniversary and picked one up for me. But if you have a Games Workshop near you, when its anniversary is coming up, you'll be able to get this Stormcast miniature from there. But if you like, James, I'm going up there in May. I can see if they've got one on the shelf. They might. They sometimes do. I am prepared to do that. Delicious. Anyway, what are we doing? What are we saying? We've got about 5-10 minutes left. Like I said, I have to run early because we're going for dinner with my mother. So if anybody has any last final questions, please do direct them my way. Similarly, if anybody has any other business, you have 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes to get 73 members to take us to 400. But yeah, first stream back after a couple of weeks off, and it's nice to come back, and we've had about 75 to 90 people watching, which is amazing. I genuinely thought 2 weeks off, maybe YouTube wouldn't tell anyone I went live. So thank you very much for being here for me. Still waiting. I really appreciate it. Thank you for not giving up on me whilst I took some time off. Ever had condensation issues with Army Painter wet palettes? I've never used a wet palette in my life, so no. What is coming up this week? This week, on Thursday, there will be a... On Wednesday, we will go live. Maybe we'll do an education stream. Maybe we won't. I don't know yet. I haven't figured that out. I'll have a think over the coming days. And and well, you'll all find out at the same time I will on Wednesday. So we'll be live on Wednesday. There is the Adepticon preview show at 2 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, I think. So we might go live for that as well. So that's a thing. Thursday's painting video will probably be the Goremongers from Blood and Zeal. You already got the new Kilting box. I did. Games Workshop sent it to me early to build up, paint, and review. But I didn't film a sprue review because I didn't feel like it. I wasn't ready to do that. I always get nervous. I get really anxious making sprue reviews because a lot of people disagree with my opinions on them. Based on how much of a fan you are of the thing. And if I'm rude about something or mildly critical about something, people get very cross with me. So yeah, we'll be live on Wednesday. We might then be live again a few hours later for the Adepticon watch-along stream. There'll be painting video on Thursday, and then on Saturday there will either be Contrast Plus, how to paint Clade Adamus Assassin, or Imperial Fists, Gravis Captain, or a Stenner of Brighthall, or Sanctifiers, or the statue. I don't know. Depends on how productive we are this week. Don't be scared of taking breaks, man. Burnout's rough. I know, Minion Mike. I know. It's it's tough because you don't. Like I was saying earlier, I didn't realise I was burning out. You know what I mean? I was having a lot of fun. I was being very, 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 very productive. It's just, it snuck up on you. You'd think you'd notice it coming, but I didn't notice it coming. And then it just happened. Would you paint a Mauler Fiend or Demon Prince in Emperor's Children colours? I have bought a Demon Prince. The Demon Prince is here. I need to build it, and I need to paint it. But I also need to find the time to do those things. So yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. Yeah, just trying to find the time and space to do it, as it were. Are you going to paint a crayon eater marine? I don't know what that is, Captain Manrix. But thank you. I love your face too. But yeah. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff coming this week. I don't know about next week, and I don't know about the week after that, or the week after that. We'll try and get Alfarius done very soon as well, and Mortarion, and yeah, then we'll see where things are at. We have the Star Drake to do, Alfarius to do, Mortarion to do, the Sanctifiers to do, a statue to do, and a Stenner of Brighthall to finish. So yeah, I've got lots and lots of stuff to do and lots of stuff to be getting on with. So we'll be getting on with it in short order. But yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for welcoming me back. And I will probably speak to you all on Wednesday if you're about. If you're not, that's also fine. And yeah, we'll get excited. We'll get hype for Adepticon. We'll do that together. We'll see what the previews have. So I'm going to go and have dinner with my mother now. Take guitar breaks. Love the Instagram post. I will. I'm going to keep playing. Maybe on Wednesday I'll play a bit of guitar live. Who knows? We'll see. Be nice and embarrassing for everyone. I'm going to see you all very soon in the next one. Love you guys, and have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week if I don't speak to you before then. So have a great one. Tell Mama Warhipster the internet says hi. I shall indeed. She won't understand that, but yeah. Anyway, bye for now, everybody. Ta-da!